have no idea how dangerous you are. You're supposed to be a myth, a being capable of spontaneous creation. Here you are, using it to make breakfast for dinner.
Let go of my children.
Oh yes, your children. Vision, this whole little life you've made. This is chaos magic, Wanda.
How to build character. Man can change him or herself intelligently and voluntarily, and may make of themselves practically what you can will within very wide limits.
You up for a little tough love? You want to climb out of that hell you're in. Do the work. Do it.
I've been making amends.
You weren't amending, you were avenging. You were stopping all the wrongdoers you enabled as the Winter Soldier because you thought it would bring you closure. You go to these people and say sorry because you think it'll make you feel better, right? But you gotta make them feel better. You gotta go to them and be of service.
This is not for the faint of heart, for this is very hard work. And your character now, as it is the result of your own previous actions and thoughts. You have lived many lives, and that means that you have been many thousands of years in training yourself to be what you are now.
A candle.
An act of faith. One I hope that you'll repeat in the future at Starfleet. Put aside logic. Do what feels right.
Even though such training has been unconscious on your part and without any definite aim, we have therefore established within ourselves many decided habits.
Why are you doing this?
My programming directive is to destroy the vision.
But I'm not the true vision. Only a conditional vision. I request elaboration.
Reasoning from small things to large ones, we may readily realize that when a man or woman has certain habits which have been steadily strengthening within themselves for thousands of years, it is a serious task for them to try and check their momentum and to reverse the currents. These lines of thought and feeling are welded into the man or woman, and they show as qualities which seem to be deeply ingrained in them.
You are familiar with the thought experiment, the ship of Theseus in the field of identity metaphysics?
Naturally. The ship of Theseus is an artifact in a museum. Over time, its planks of wood rot and are replaced with new planks. When no original plank remains, is it still the ship of Theseus?
Secondly, if those removed planks are restored and reassembled free of the rot, is that the ship of Theseus?
Neither is the true ship. Both are the true ship.
Well, then we are agreed.
But I do not have the Mind Stone.
And I do not have one single ounce of original material. Perhaps the rot is the memories, the wear and tear of the voyages, the wood touched by Theseus himself.
I have not retained memories.
But you do have the data. It is merely being kept from you.
A weapon to be more easily controlled. But certainly you are the true vision for you believe yourself to be.
That was once the case. But upon meeting you, I have been disabused of that notion. As a carbon-based synthesoid, your memory storage is not so easily wiped. May I?
Now that you are learning to yield to them through all that length of time, it might seem impossible to resist them, yet it is by no means impossible from the point of view of the master. For example, if you have an irritable character, that is because you have yielded yourself to feelings of that nature in previous lives, because you have not developed within yourself the virtue of self-control.
Sign the papers. You set me up. You're gonna blame me because you were the business head of the company and you made a bad business deal with your own company?
It's gonna be like I'm not a part of Facebook.
It won't be like you're not a part of Facebook. You're not a part of Facebook.
My name's on the masthead.
You might want to check again.
It's because I froze the account?
You think we were gonna let you parade around in your ridiculous suits pretending you were running this company?
Sorry! My Prada's at the cleaners! Along with my hoodie and my fuck you flip-flops, you pretentious douchebag! I'll bet what you hated the most is that they identified me as a co-founder of Facebook, which I am. You better lawyer up, asshole, because I'm not coming back for 30%. I'm coming back for everything.
If you have a narrow, mean, and grasping character, it is because you have not heard the opposite virtues of generosity and unselfishness. The man and woman of an open mind and heart has built into themselves these virtues during the ages that have passed. We are exactly what we have made ourselves, yet we have become what we are without any special effort of thought or of intention. In those lives that are past, we have grown without seeing any definite object before us, and we have allowed ourselves to be to a great extent the creatures of our surroundings and circumstances. In some cases, we may have intentionally formed ourselves upon the model of someone who we admire, or influenced our lives largely for a time. Who this hero we have copied may have had bad qualities as well as good ones, and during our childhood, it is likely that we did not have the discrimination to choose only the good and to refuse the evil.
But you're so crippled by your own self-doubt that you believed it. Oh, Wanda.
So we may have probably reproduced in ourselves undesirable qualities as well as those worthy of imitation. As a child copies the traits of the heroes we see on the big screen or TV, but yet we cannot immediately reproduce that same courage, endurance, or experience. To uproot bad habits and to replace them by good ones means a great deal of trouble and a great deal of arduous self-control. It is a serious task, and the ordinary man and woman has no knowledge of any motive sufficiently powerful to induce him or her to attempt it. But in the absence of this adequate motive, he or she does not see why they should put themselves through so much and such serious trouble. So they begin to drift along, not making any great effort.
It's just like this wave washing over me again and again. It knocks me down, and when I try to stand up, it just comes for me again. And I can't. It's just gonna drown me.
No. No, it won't.
How do you know?
Well, because it can't all be sorrow, can it? I've always been alone, so I don't feel the lack. It's all I've ever known. I've never experienced loss because I've never had a loved one to lose. But what is grief, if not love persevering? Sorry, pardon?
No, it was funny.
Yes, it was very funny, wasn't it?
You must first realize the necessity of a change of standpoint and obtain a wider view of life as a whole, because the ordinary character of men and women is very cynical and selfish. They are not intentionally cruel or devoid of good feelings, but on the contrary, as they may have good and generous impulses.
You lied. On an official report, you lied. You think the rules don't apply to you because you disagree with them.
That's why you talked me into signing up in the first place. It's why you gave me your ship.
I gave you my ship because I saw greatness in you. And now I see you haven't got an ounce of humility.
I became a doctor to save lives, not take them.
You became a doctor to save one life above all others. Your own.
Still seeing through me, are you?
I see what I've always seen. Your overinflated ego. You want to go back to the delusion that you can control anything.
You know how many crew members I've lost since I
That's
took the
your
captain's
problem.
ship?
You think
Not
you're
one.
infallible.
Not one.
You think you can't make a mistake. It's a pattern with you.
You're a coward. Because I'm not a killer?
These zealots will snuff us all out, and you can't muster the strength to snuff them first?
What do you think I just did?
You saved your own life! And then whined about it like a wounded dog!
Oh, and you would have done it so easy. Without hesitation. Even if there's another way.
There is no other way.
You lack imagination.
No, Stephen. You lack a spine.
Admiral, listen.
No, I'm not going to listen. Why should I listen? I'm not going to listen. You don't listen to anybody but yourself.
But every decision I've made...
I can't listen. You don't comply with the rules. You don't take responsibility for anything, and you don't respect the chair. You know why? Because you're not ready for it.
But their life on the whole is certainly a self-centered life. Their own personality is the pivot round which the majority of their thoughts revolve. They judge everything instantly and instinctively by the way in which it happens to affect them personally. They are absorbed in the pursuit of wealth and blind to the higher side of things and to the spiritual life, or else their chief object in existence appears to be the physical enjoyment of the moment. In 9 out of 10 cases, most people are talking about money, amusements, or gossip. Their one idea in life seems to be what they call a good time or fun, as if this was the reason for existing.
That I believe in you. That if anybody deserves a second chance, it's Jim Kirk.
I don't know what to say.
That is a first. It's gonna be okay, son.
Many people think life is for sensual pleasure of the moment, just amusement and nothing else. Most seem to be all that they can comprehend, and it appears to be a sufficient reason for not having visited a certain place and to say that there is no fun to be had there.
I tried to be gentle, to nudge you awake from this ridiculous fantasy, but you'd rather fall apart than face your truth. All you could recall was the feeling you felt empty, alone, endless nothingness. Let's start there.
You're not an asshole, Mark. You're just trying so hard to be.
They have not realized that they are immortal souls who are here for a purpose and have a definite evolution before them. So due to this ignorance, they live their life as one shallow, ignorant, and giggling vacuum. The only life they seem to know is the life of the moment, and in this way they lower themselves to the level of the least intelligent of the animals about them. Man is known as a thinking animal, and most are more animal than thinkers.